In 1998, a groundbreaking new game show burst onto the world's TV screens. At one point, it was watched in over 100 countries. So what was it that made the world fall in love with Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Let's play Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
I'll put it in my pocket for now, for safekeeping.
OK, audience, on your keypads, please.
Whose idea was it to bring couples on?
It's the People's quiz show. We don't select the contestants, they select themselves. The show was, when it started, unique.
But by 2001, the show's lustre was beginning to fade, and its fortunes were revived in the most unlikely way. Enter a major called Charles, a wife called Diana, and an accomplice called Tequin with a nasty frog in the throat.
Well done, Charles. What about £1 million?
Is the Pope Catholic?
It was a great night. I mean, it really was superb. I was going to try and be sort of humorous and chatty and just enjoy it, really, and make sure that I made the most of the moment to get as high as I could up the ladder.
Right, this is Charles Ingram. He's a major in the Royal Engineers, served in...
I was genuinely amazed when I came off air that there was, you know, murmurings and suspicion that something might have happened that night that was...
This was...
from Tequin Whittock to help him pick the right answers. No mean feat when you consider the atmosphere in the Millionaire studio.
It's a dark studio. It's purposely slightly uncomfortable. There are speakers in the floor underneath pounding with this music, with the heartbeat going on. The tension is being built the whole time.
Let's play Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
There might be an association between coughing and someone giving you an answer, but it's a different question altogether as to what the person, in the psychological state he would be in, which is highly stressed, would be able to pick up and respond to those coughs. And that is an interesting question.
I would have thought that it would be Aristotle Onassis.
Why?
As for Chris Tarrant and I, he didn't hear any coughing, I didn't hear any coughing. Even the judge in court said that the jury must ignore the loudness of the coughing on the tapes. They didn't, but they should have done.
I'm pretty confident it's Aristotle Onassis.
It's just such a shame that the sound that everybody is invited to listen to is not actually the environment and the sound that was recorded on the studio mix on the night.
Yeah, final answer.
So there were coughs coming from Tequin Whittock, and those were used to prompt the major. There's no question about it. You can see him reacting to them. You can see the pattern. Once it's shown to you, it is so obvious.
It's the right answer. You got £8,000.
But the major's technique wasn't shown to you, the viewers, until after the trial. And Tonight with Trevor McDonald didn't believe him either.
It was the Tonight with Trevor McDonald programme that deliberately gave a very one-sided state of affairs story that I believe is criminal.
So, are the producers of Tonight with Trevor McDonald really responsible for Charles's downfall?
£32,000, the third question of the night, and a critical moment in the major fraud.
What they did with Diana and how Tonight with Trevor McDonald tried to bring her into it was entirely misconstrued.
A1 or Craig David.
Diana coughs twice. Is that a clue?
The Ingrams are not alone in their belief that The Tonight Show went too far. Robert Bridges, a £1 million winner, was in the studio as a standby contestant that night.
And I don't believe for a second that that he heard Diana cough. I think that was a mistake in Martin Bashir's documentary.
Again, it seems she's looking to Whittock.
I do look left, and I look right, and I look up, and I look down. I look all over the place, but they selectively just showed looking left.
I'm going to go for A1. Yep.
Final answer.
No.
When he went for the wrong alternative, which was A1 on that question, he said, I'm going to go for A1. The audience went, oh, And he described it as a wrong answer gasp.
That made me think again, because to me, and I can't control the audience, it's not my fault, but that made me think that it was the wrong answer.
No, I'll go Craig David. Yeah.
You just won £32,000.
He got carried away with it all. He sat in that chair and he thought, this is easy. There's a guy back there coughing and, you know, when he coughs, I answer the question.
You just won £64,000.
Had he stopped at 125,000, we would never have been confident enough with the pattern.
You just won £250,000.
The Major's playing style was nothing short of extraordinary. It wasn't, for me, the way he kept running through the possible answers. That could have been superstitious behaviour. Because here was a man who showed signs of being very nervous when he saw the questions for the first time, and less nervous when he was making these huge bets.
I'm going to play Paris.
You were convinced it was Berlin.
I know. I think I was wrong. I'm going to go for Paris.
You thought it was Berlin. You changed your mind to Paris. That brought you $500,000.
But was the Major really gambling, or did he have inside information? Fastest finger contestant Larry Whitehurst was a crucial witness in both the trial by jury and by television.
This is it. Question number 15 of 15 on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
As soon as the question was asked, before the answers had come up, I knew what the answer was.
A number 1, followed by 100 zeros, is known by what name?
So I was concentrating very hard on the Major.
I'm very fond of Larry Whitehurst, as you can probably imagine. I need to be very careful what I say, but what he thinks he witnessed and what he saw are two entirely different things.
I don't think I've heard of a Google.
My attention becomes focused on Tekun Whittaker, the guy who's been coughing ostentatiously all the way through. Every time the Major mentioned the right answer, cough, cough, bang on cue.
I really do think it's a Google.
But you thought it was a nanomole. And you've never heard of a Google.
If somebody shouted out the bloody answer, I wouldn't agree with them. You know, there's no way you would gamble that much money on coughing. No way.
Chris, I'm going to play. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. Oh, yeah, I'm going to play.
When he said, I'm going to play the £1 million question, I thought I was just going to fall off my seat then and there. You know, I couldn't believe it.
I'm going to play Google. Yeah.
Final answer.
Final answer.
I can't tell you what overcame me and why I was so stupid to risk £468,000. I really don't know at the end of the day. I can't remember, but I did.
Charles, give me that cheque. £500,000. You no longer have that. You just won £1 million!
It was absolutely brilliant. I mean, it was just, I was dumbstruck. I didn't, in my wildest dreams, believe that I could possibly win £1 million.
£1 million!
And he never did. TV's greatest cheat was caught in the act. Or was he? So what's the moral of our story? Where cheats seem to prosper and lies are always white. Well, as long as we want programmes with real people in them, there's always the chance that some of them could be fake.
TV's Cheats replace Single, which can now be seen on Thursday nights at 11:30. Next tonight, a look back at the day's Premiership action with Des, Ali and Ron. Then, there's so many highlights, we're showing the whole match again. The Rugby World Cup final replayed at midnight.